Hi, good afternoon. Okay, today we will talk about object-oriented programming in the university. My name is Natalia. I am a teacher in the university, a lecturer. She is Nadina Martinez. She is the director of the Department of Programming in the Facultad de Informática of the university. And she is Silvia Amaro, the professor, the teacher of the object-oriented programming course in the careers of this university. Okay, a little approach about this talk. We will talk about something related with the context of the object-oriented programming in the university. A little bit of history about the course, about the concepts we provide the students, about the paradigm, how we provide that knowledge related with the paradigm to the students, environments we used in the course actually, nowadays, and in the past, and final practice the students have to do in the course to pass, and some conclusions of this talk and our experience teaching object-oriented programming in the university. Okay, something about the context. We have 3 careers. 2 of them gives the students, gives the graduates bachelor. One of them is the information systems, a bachelor of information systems, licenciatura en sistemas de la información. Another one is a Bachelor of Science, Computer Science, and the third one provides a degree of Teacher of Informatics. I don't know, Profesorado en Informática. The 3 careers have a common course that is object-oriented programming, the 3 in the same course. And we have 6 hours to give that knowledge to the students. That happens in the first semester and in the second year of the career. 6 hours per week, yes, per week. No. Wow, we are powerful. 6 hours per week. And the first semester, second year of the career. And it's the 3rd programming course of the careers, all of them, the three one. And we have this scheme, this structure since 2014. But we have to put you in with a little bit of history. The very beginning of the history. We started with object-oriented programming here in Neuquén, in the university, in the Facultad de Informática, in 1998. Wow. We started with Delphi because, why? You ask why. Because we are, at that moment, we used Pascal, and we believe that providing that knowledge with Delphi maybe make us easier the problem about the syntax of the language, but okay, I'll continue after that. At that moment, that course was the 4th programming course in the career, not the 3rd one like nowadays. And we had 10 hours per week, so we have more time at that moment. But we have a main problem, and we have many difficulties verifying the students applied object-oriented programming concepts properly. So, and was not a good decision to use Delphi, I mean. And we decided to do something different in the second year of the career.
I will continue. In the second year, since the second year of the career, since 1999, Smalltalk appears in our academic life. And it appears because it was strongly suggested by Gustavo Rossi from La Plata University. He convinced us to use Smalltalk in object-oriented programming because of its characteristics. So, at that moment that we had a course of 10 hours a week, we had enough time to introduce in the second part of the semester some things about patterns, design patterns, and we introduced the idea of design patterns briefly, and we use and implement with exercises these patterns, particularly these patterns. We introduce patterns, and our students had exercises to identify these patterns and implement them in Smalltalk. Well, nowadays, since 2014, that we have a new situation in our course. We have now 6 hours per week. We can't continue with this practice, so we don't teach patterns anymore. Now, since the very beginning and now, we start the course speaking about abstraction, messages, responsibility, encapsulation, modularity, hierarchy. And we emphasize concepts as inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, visibility, but we don't work all the time with Smalltalk. We teach this from a theoretic point of view, and we use class diagrams and sequence diagrams to introduce these concepts. And besides, our students work with Smalltalk in practice and doing these models and implementing these models in Smalltalk. And all the time during the course, we do comparisons when it is possible with other languages. For example, about binding, when we talk about binding and visibility, or about creation and initialization of objects, we compare with Java, for example, or with C++. And also when we work with polymorphism and hierarchy and all the themes related.
Thank you. I want to apologize for my poor English, but I try to do the best as I can. Well, environment. We don't remember very well how we began, but we know that we used VisualWorks until 2008. Then we followed Baeza Quick until 2016. And from that year to nowadays, we were working with FAR. What will we do next year? We don't know now. How we work? Well, our students have to do a final practice. Sometimes it's incremental one, and sometimes not. The practice can it be, for example, board games like Estanciero, or like carrera de mente, trivial. Other games can be strategic games like chess, but without
version of chess. A simplified version.
A simplified version, because without the knowledge of artificial intelligence.
They have just to implement the movements, not the intelligence of the game. So it's a simple thing about that.
And sometimes can it be, for example, simulations like sea life or life in the savannah or something like that. Well, our conclusions of what we were doing. First, we were focusing smalltalk like an academic language, and now we can realize that enterprise use it, and even more some important enterprise use it. Other thing is possible changes that can be made in our course. Can be, for example, if we will analyze if we will use TDD, we incorporate TDD or something like that, and or change the environment. The third,
that will be a big change, I think. Yeah, incorporating TDD.
And the third and more important thing for us is the bibliography. In spite of it is difficult for us to discover or to obtain in paper, but we now know that there is a community here that can help us in some trouble that we can have, especially, for example, in concurrent programming or something like that. And that's all.
Yes, I think the main thing is that after that conference we feel that we are not alone, and we count with you, so we help us to take care about this course and improve everything we believe that provide us value to the students, to us, and for the community and for the industry here in Neuquén and in the Alto Valle. So I think we can improve a lot. We have to analyze many things about the course, about the concepts, and about the bibliography and the documentation. And well, so many thanks all of you to be here. And that's it.
Do you have some questions?
So, assuming a student that, I don't know, doesn't work, just is dedicated to the career, how long it takes to graduate? How many years are supposed to take this career?
¿Cuántos años tardan en graduarse?
Our careers of 5 years.
Yes.
Yes, we are in the second year, first semester now, and they have 2 programming courses before object-oriented programming, and then we have concurrent programming and another very little course, programming laboratory, but there we have only 2 hours per week, so we can't do so more there.
Other question?
How many students per year you have taking the object-oriented classes?
It's vary, but for example, in the first year we have 60 or more.
This year we have
60, 60.
60 or 70 students at the beginning, at the very beginning, the first year, but at the third year or the second year we have, I don't know, 40 maybe.
No, nowadays in object-oriented programming
We have 60, 60, okay.
it's difficult for us
it's variable every year, but well, this year the students are more than the previous year. That is a good thing for us.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll ask both in English and in Spanish. So what's the prior experience students have when starting the course? ¿Cuál es la experiencia que tienen los estudiantes en las materias anteriores en programación antes de empezar el curso?
En realidad es el segundo año, es el primer cuatrimestre del segundo año. Quiere decir que han visto una materia del primer cuatrimestre, que es resolución de problemas y algoritmos, una materia en el segundo cuatrimestre, que es desarrollo de algoritmos, y recién ahí ven programación orientada a objetos. Se ve en paralelo con estructura de datos. No sé si... Y luego de eso, en el tercer, es concurrente, en el siguiente cuatrimestre se ve programación concurrente. Ya que estamos, se lo digo en castellano, nosotros habíamos comenzado a hacer programación concurrente con Smalltalk, un año hicimos la experiencia, pero nos era difícil poder establecer todos los mecanismos de sincronización que pudimos establecer por ahí, por ejemplo, con otro lenguaje tipo Java. Entonces, como no podíamos hacer el paralelo, teníamos muy pocas herramientas para trabajar, trabajamos con semáforos, secciones críticas y nos quedábamos ahí.
I don't want to sound negative at all, so my question, no, it's a really positive question. So I didn't see as many students on the conference as I was somehow expecting, or compared to the numbers that you are just saying. So for us as the FAST organization, do you see something we could improve for future events? Like, for example, you could say, yes, most of the students cannot follow English. So then maybe we can arrange one day full in Spanish, or maybe the times, or something that you can give us as feedback for us, if there's something we can do better for that.
All of them as us, if the conference is in English or in Spanish. I think that this is a point of view to see, for example, for students.
Yes, and the second problem is that this week they have a lot of exams. So some students were present yesterday afternoon, but they are really very complicated with exams, but English is another problem, yes.
And I think it's maybe a personal point of view, but for many years we never see here in the region some companies who needs something programming in Smalltalk. So that is not we have not demand about that. And here in Neuquén, we believe that we have to provide main concepts for the students, so when they left the university, they can use it immediately in the industry, in a job. So I think we need to show more about this, about the industries, about the enterprise. But with this conference, that is another thing that we learn. We have you guys, so we can connect you in a, I don't know, a remote meeting and show you talking about that technologies to the students and showing them how to do things, some things that could be easy. Maybe they can see that it's easy too, and that enable us to show the things we have to show, so they take these kind of things important when they are out of the university. So I think that could be, but we need this sometimes to realize that things could happen. So thank you for your question. Good question.
Another question? I have one, but I'm... No, I have, of course. There's 9 minutes. 9 more minutes, 8 more minutes. So maybe the first one is not a question, but a suggestion. It's funny that we did the other way around as you did, because we used to teach object-oriented programming and design using, you know, class hierarchies and sequence diagrams. But we realized that the students didn't learn that, you know, didn't learn using that, because class diagrams and sequence diagrams, they never hang. They always work. And the difference between what you see there and the real program is so big that, you know, it doesn't matter what you put in the diagram. You're running that diagram in your mind, and that's why it always works. So they're not really learning how to program when using those kind of things. So we changed the way to teach object-oriented programming or programming in general, and we went directly to the code. And I think that's the most important or the best way to teach object-oriented programming is just go and code. And that's why we use TDD, because TDD gives you like a process, a way to program that is very easy then to see if they are following, and you know, a way to think in an incrementally way. And well, it has many advantages. And also, something that we used to do was to teach more in an academic way. We used to teach them the concepts, you know, what polymorphism is, what a class is, what hierarchy is. But students don't understand that. They say they do, but they don't. And when they have to go and use it, they will forget what you said because they never practice it. So the best way to learn is by practice. So that at least what my experience is. So that's why we start from the first day to make them code. And we make them realize those concepts by looking at examples, by playing with real stuff. And I think that's the best way to teach object-oriented programming and maybe other stuff. But I don't know, it's not a question, just a suggestion. Yeah, and of course it took us a while. Yeah, yes.
Okay, we are always open to new ideas, and we from one year to other, we are proving new forms of do things, and so I suppose we will prove.
Yeah, if you want, we can share with you all the exercises and how we do everything, and because students have to do an exercise per week or maybe 2 weeks, and we you know, grade those exercises, and the exams are all in the machine. Coding is practical. Everything is practical, and I think that's the best way.
I have a doubt about practical exams. We sometimes prove this, and I think the problem is when they can't solve what they have to solve in the exam, they began to do strange things, yeah. And they don't arrive to know where.
If they don't know how to solve it in a machine, how are they going to solve it in a diagram? You see, what they're going to solve in a diagram is not a real solution.
Yes.
That's the thing. So you may think that they solved the problem because, oh, what a nice diagram. It doesn't have that many classes, or I don't know what, but there's not really a solution. So that's why we do practical stuff from the beginning. So when we get to the exam, they have experience, real experience, and you know, we do pair programming all the time during the class, and so and that's why when they get to the exam, of course we don't kill them with an exam. We give them something that is possible to do, but they are prepared for that.
Okay. They have some years. They have little exercises that they have to present before the exams implemented. So they have some practice. But we will take your suggestion.
Yeah, and it's very important to grade every exercise, because if not, they don't do it.
Just want to say something about Faro, because apparently you are using Faro. So just want to remind you that there is a lot of pedagogical materials for Faro. So we have a MOOC, mooc.faro.org. So this is in English. Yeah, you know what is a MOOC?
What?
What is a MOOC? MOOC.
MOOC. MOOC, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a MOOC about Faro.
Okay.
Available online. So it's mooc.faro.org. So all the videos, all the exercises are available online.
Okay.
And I think there are some, maybe not everything, but there are some parts that are translated in Spanish also.
Okay, great.
Yeah, subtitles in Spanish, so you can. Yeah. Okay. So
that is a good.
So this is very important because it's something that is freely available for everyone.
Great.
And we have books also. So lots of books about not only about Faro, the Faro language, but also how to do TDD or to use object-oriented programming. Most of them are also in English, but there are some that are translated in Spanish. And you can also ask the Faro Consortium or the ESUC board to have some support. So if you need some, I don't know, to have maybe people who come visit you and give you some materials and lectures about Faro, this is possible. You can ask the ESUC board. So ESUC is the European Smalltalk User Group. And you can also ask the Faro Consortium about to have some support. So this is possible.
Right. We have a subscription from the universities, so the university can access to some bibliography specific that is only accessed from the university in the net of the university. Maybe that connection could be done in that way, or you talk about some connections, some support taken from individuals.
You can ask
me from my home.
Yeah, you can ask support. The university, your department, the Faculty of Computer Science can ask some support, some financial support, or maybe to have some teachers that come here and help you to have more elaborate materials for your lectures.
Great, thank you. Good to know.
Yeah, everything is free.
Everything is free and it's open source. You can take whatever you want. You can clip the clip of the video that you need for your lecture and put it, and just if you just say that it's us, it's okay. It's not, just use it and take profit. And another important thing that maybe is helpful for you, because it happened to me when I was giving lectures here in Argentina in a Smalltalk, that sometimes it's difficult to make the people, the authorities, to continue supporting to use Smalltalk. And here I think it's a good opportunity with a lot of companies, a lot of different dialects to show that it's a live language. So if I am talking by the Faro Consortium, but I think everyone else will be afraid. If you need help or support to say, yes, this is live, we are this company and using this, and so to continue giving lectures in Smalltalk, because I also like it for use it, but I also think it's really good for giving the concept, because it goes to the concept of subjects. So if you need recommendation letters or things like that, don't hesitate. I think everyone will be much more happier than support that.
Okay, we need you come next year, the first class of object-oriented programming, to convince our students.
Time's up. Thank you.
Thank you.